Let's get this thing started. On this show, anything could happen.
It's gonna be amazing.
Okay.
I love baby laughter.
Welcome to the Derek and Jess.
Hello.
God dog it. Don't do that.
Come to the morning to ya.
Please. Oh, that's it. Jimbo, pull the plug.
No.
Pull the plug. You're listening to the Derek and Jess. You're watching Derek and Jess in the Family Nest. And it's amazeballs.
It's a right dandy old time. Dandy.
We have an audience.
I know.
And they said not to introduce themselves. That's it.
But
Christine,
they appreciate my accents.
I don't think so. I'm going to take a poll.
We have already taken a poll.
Yeah.
And Team Jessica wins. Every time.
I don't know where you got that poll from. Nobody.
Derek, no negativity on the table.
Is that Scottish?
Yes.
Okay. You got it. Again, you stole that from Brave. You just
Yes, I did. But I
Brave.
did two different words. Good call.
You are watching Derek and Jess in the Family Nest right here on the YouTubery and listening to it live on Blog Talk Radio. We have a special guest today that we're going to be bringing in. We're so excited
Very
about
best
that.
friends. Desiree Goheen.
Desiree Goheen is here today. She's going to be talking about adoption. That's going to be fantastic. I have a bunch of different questions to ask. She'll be coming in after the
Get her take on what she's been going through.
Which just sounds like a whole bunch of stuff.
It sounds like a bunch of work.
Yeah.
A bunch of work. But the outcome will be fantastic.
It will be fantastic.
Fantastic.
If you want to find out more about Derek and Jess, you can go to our website.
Yes.
And our website.
Derek and Jess.
DerekandJess.net.
There you go.
www.derekandjess.net. There it is. You can watch the latest YouTubery of Derek and Jess. The last one is 50 Shades.
If you don't have a laptop around, I don't, but I have my phone.
Here you go. Here's what
we have a mobile site now.
We do have a mobile site, but we've got it right here. And I'm trying to think of the. Oh, I know what I added to it. It was. I was trying to
so you can listen to
got a whole bunch
our podcast right away.
Right away.
Do it right now.
You can do it right
now.
Well, they can't see it. I mean, if they're watching it on YouTube, it's too late.
Well, okay, so do it next week.
If you're listening to us on Blog Talk Radio right now and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I got to leave the house. What am I going to do?
What am I ever
Go
going
to m.derekandjess.net.
There you go. There you have it.
Scroll down, you will see the little thing that says, listen
to our podcast.
Listen to the Nest on Blog Talk Radio.
The Nest.
Boom! It'll bring it up.
Nest.
It's Blog Talk Radio. If you can't stay on the side of Jess,
if you can't stay on the side of Derek's face, I understand. Just push it on over.
Bingo.
And there you go.
And then you can just listen to us on Blog Talk Radio. Check that out. M as in mobile. DerekandJess.net. You can also find us on Facebook. Everything's going on Facebook on Derek and Jess. There it is, right there. Check us out, Derek and Jess and the Family Nest. Click it up there. It's good. It's got all. You can find the YouTube show there. You can find La Junta News there. Mm-hmm. You can find anything that Jess sends to me. Things about families, things about kids, things about all kinds of things.
And someday I will set up a poll taking. And we can, you could be Team Jessica for accents or Team Derek for naysayers that don't want to hear talent. So we'll get it together.
Okay. All right. We'll take that someday, and we'll see where that happens. Also, you can follow us on Twitter. And I just tweeted.
Follow us.
I just tweeted right
You
before.
did? I'm so proud of you.
It said Desiree Goheen is in the studio.
Yeah. Tweets are our
low point.
They're our low point because let's get real up in here, okay?
I freaking hate Twitter.
I don't even have a Twitter for myself, just individually. So I'm and blogging, I'm getting a little better, but no.
It's no good.
This is our strong circle here. So just watch our shows. That's what it is.
Anyway, you can find us on social media. That's what you want to do.
And our Facebook page is the best.
Yep, let's get to La Junta News real quick.
Let's do it.
Because we want to give as much time to Desiree, and we need to get to our game.
Which accent should I read the news in? Let's go with
Just try Russian or something. Just, what do we got?
First Presbyterian Church of La Junta, Colorado. Okay, okay.
That would fit from being Scottish. That's good.
Okay, no, I'll get real because this is real. I'll get real. I'll just be Jessica Linderson. Okay.
Yep.
Healthcare Sunday, March 29th, which is my dear Chloe's second birthday.
Is it?
Yes.
How neat.
So First Presbyterian Church in La Junta, they're welcoming 2 special guests. Jennifer Jackson from Otero County Cardiovascular Disease Prevention Program, it's a long name, will be here to offer 20-minute cardiovascular health screenings. Get there, get it done.
Yes.
At the same time, we'll welcome Debbie Schandelmeyer.
Sounds
I
like
hope
a-
I'm pronouncing
sounds
that right.
like a good name.
Of Valley-wide Health Systems, who will be available to anyone still in need of health care coverage.
That's good to
So
go
go?
into. Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe I'll ask Christine. Is that after church then? I'm assuming. I didn't ask MJ. It must just be right after church. Because it's Sunday, March 29th.
Do we have the program still?
Yeah, but it doesn't say in the book that you look.
Good.
That's what I was
Thought
confused
it was
about.
something that I just.
Surely it's not during church, so it must be after.
It's got to be probably after.
So what I don't
Sunday.
know is when it actually starts. That wasn't
So
on the
why don't you
book.
just go for a
Go to
good
church.
Christian
A little Presbyterian-
leadership moment,
Yeah,
and then
March
just
29th.
get healthcare coverage?
Go to March
I mean, it's a win-win,
Absolutely.
basically. Okay.
This
so
is a neat one.
That's good.
This next
Okay. OJC International Students Director Colin Johnson. That's kind of a cool name, Colin. Hi, my name's Colin. Okay, Colin Johnson is looking for host families for
Okay.
international students.
Are you going to
So,
do that?
Please contact. Yeah, with my 5-year-old, 3-year-old, and 1-year-old.
They would like some college student coming in.
I have no room. I have no room. Okay, for international students, they are looking for host families.
Yes.
Please contact him at 384-6404. 6804.
Either one, I think, will reach Colin.
6804. I
6804.
clearly can't read numbers. If you're interested, that's always a good thing to do, to be part of.
Yeah.
I would do it if I didn't have wee little ones.
Would you really? Would you
I
do
think
it?
I would, yeah, absolutely.
I asked Christine at church, and she said absolutely not.
Did you hear how I said I think, though?
Yeah.
That's the nice side of my heart is like, I would do it.
And
And then the realistic side of my heart is, oh, I cannot.
Yeah.
You know?
And
I love everybody, though, in the world. The whole world is a part of my heart because of my love.
You heard it first here on Derek and Jess and the Family Nest. Jess loves
Here we go.
everyone in the world.
I do.
That's awesome.
I have a big heart, I'm telling you. Okay.
This story comes from the Hunter Tribune Democrat. I don't know anything about
Farm
it.
Days?
Des, Christine, if you know anything about it. Farm Days. Do you know anything about Farm Days? Is it a big party?
Cookout.
Ooh,
Farm
cookout
Days.
food.
March 20th through the 22nd. Doc Jones will be holding Farm Days again this year, March 20th through Sunday, March 22nd. He's waiting a little longer this year because of the mud. It's a 3-day event. The main day is Saturday. Oh, look at this. You do little practice skills with horses and old-time machinery.
They're from the
Is
south.
there like a race with... Look at that. What is that? That's like a tiller.
There'll be a potluck supper on Saturday at about 6 p.m. That's my southern accent. No, well, okay.
What?
That's kind of cool, though, potlucks. I mean, come on.
Come on.
I'm going to still do the southern accent because this is kind of like...
This is
No,
what,
south?
Yeah, this
Okay.
is what it says. If you want to get an idea of what goes on, stop by the exhibit at Rocky Ford IDEA Place, 408 North Main. There's lots of photographs.
Oh, that's cool.
Last
Snap
year, the
It
Snap It and Scrap
Scrap
It Club made Farm Days a project.
Lots of folks never have seen a site like this before and may never again. It's a different every year.
Why do you think it needs a southern accent?
I'm trying to rebuild my portfolio.
This is the Old West. Rebuild the portfolio.
Okay, first of all, Southwestern, it's kind of the same, a little bit like the Western, the Cowboys. I tip my hat to the lady over there. No? Okay, well.
Good night.
My husband will be laughing right now. I did it just for him.
Going down the toilet quick. God, no one's listening. Derek and Jess and the Family Nest. We're going to take a break.
Break it up.
Yeah, but first, I want to just be a dad. Okay? I'm just going to be a dad for a second. I got to throw this up. Jimbo, throw this one up on, this is the La Junta Tribune Democrat. La Junta High School powerhouse. Solomon Hutch.
Way to go, champs.
Named district and regional champs.
Can I just say my husband was so thrilled.
I bet. He's the coach.
Well,
We
yeah,
mentioned
so-
this last week, didn't we? Because we knew Solomon Hutch qualified for nationals, and then this Thursday night.
Just a few days ago.
No, this coming Thursday.
Oh.
Yeah, but you'll be listening to this on a Tuesday. On Thursday, they leave to go
Right.
to the state championship.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Yep.
Friday and Saturday is the state championship. We were able to, last Thursday, go and see Night of Interp, which was fantastic.
Right.
If you want to see Solomon Hutch's piece, their 10-minute piece, go to
Amazing.
Go to solomonhutch.com, SALOANDHUTCH, solomonhutch.com. It's embedded right there, 10-minute. It's the piece that got him to nationals, and it's the piece that Mom picked out. Christine picked that piece out.
Joe thinks they're amazing.
They are amazing.
They're amazing.
And Joe's amazing. You're okay. I love your kids. I love Joe. I love you. It's just fantastic. So proud of Solomon Hutch.
Yes, we are. Way to go, guys.
All of the pieces were great at the Night of Interest.
Yeah, the forensics kids are stepping it up. They're doing a real good job.
Yeah, they
real
are.
good job.
Fantastic. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have
Desiree Goheen.
Desiree Goheen sitting right here, boom,
Woohoo.
giant mic in front of her, and she's going to talk about what it takes to
So stick around. It's
to
gonna be
enter
good.
into the adoption process, to just do all those things.
Sharing her ups and downs with the whole process, and we're going to be playing a game. So obviously you got to come back because it's going to be fun.
That's right. We're going to try and throw in the word sneak. That's going to be
We'll
great.
see. We'll
we
see.
want you to stay with us on the other side of this break. We're going to have Desiree Goheen here. So keep listening and watching Derek and Jess in the Family Nest.
Adoption Options has been around since 1981, and we have helped so many families find children and complete their families, but also helped birth parents make very difficult decisions in their life. We've placed over 1,500 children into families that have given them a place to grow up and be safe and happy and strong, and that's the piece that keeps the agency going, is the families that we serve, whether it be a birth parent that makes the plan of adoption, we've supported her for those years, or an adoptive family that has grown their family through adoption, or the child that is served by being placed into a family where they can grow up.
Adoption Options definitely supported me when I felt like I didn't know what to do. I was so young, at the age of 14, having a baby, I really didn't know what to do. So they laid out my options, and they took my hand and they helped me walk through the doors of each option. And and they, even to this day, they're very supportive and very loving, and I really appreciate them and what they do.
Certainly we all have our fears and questions and concerns. But Adoption Options, really, the caseworkers and the counselors there really worked with us to help us feel safe and to help us feel supported. And we could focus on simply becoming parents and not worry or feel concerned about what was happening at the agency on our behalf. It was all handled, and it was handled beautifully.
Our training and education department reaches out to adoptive families, foster families, and kinship families, as well as building capacity for child welfare professionals. We work in the state of Colorado in our 64 counties. We work in other states. We work with tribes, and we work with very relevant topics like trauma-informed care and really hands-on practical tools that families need to work with the children in their homes. And Adoption Options is glad to be there for them.
This is Desiree Goheen. She's one of my very best friends, and she's here to share her adoption story with us.
Not just mine, my husband's too.
Yes, her and
That's
Scott's.
That's right. My
That's
husband
right.
Scott, he's amazing.
Yeah, and there's the little thing behind her, and that's what
And
you,
that's Scotty.
that's what you
Scott.
put on Facebook, wasn't it?
Yes.
That's so good. But before we get to that,
Oh yeah, we have to share our
game.
Okay.
this is a game we're going to play. If you've watched Jimmy Fallon on Tonight Show, you'll know Word Sneak. Okay. Word Sneak. Okay, we wanted to have you. Normally, we have a game that's called
It's called What the Heck.
What the Heck. But we wanted to give you as much possible time as you could to talk. So,
We're going to incorporate this in the rest of the show.
yes.
We all have like 10 words that we're going to incorporate within our speaking. So she's going to try to put it in her wording of things. I'm going to try to put it in my wording of things in their random words.
That's right.
So,
Now, yeah, it's a random.
and as
thing.
our viewers, you should try to find them too.
We've never tried this before.
No,
Yeah.
no.
And so we don't know. What the heck is always a fragile thing, so we don't know whether or not this is going to work. But
It might be lumpy like pancake.
Des
batter.
is playing
Come
too.
on.
And here's an
Oh, that
example.
had to be one.
Right?
Dang it! Dang it!
Did you get caught?
Come on.
You missed my fragile.
Oh, nice.
Fragile word sneak.
It.
We're trying to keep track. We're trying to see if we can figure out the word sneak. Just a normal conversation. Going to talk to Des about this. Every once in a while, you'll see us look down to maybe look at our words and find out what they are. But Des, you are here, and you are here because just recently, correct?
Yes.
Just recently, Thursday, you found out that I don't even know what to call it. You
I
qualified
am
for.
psychologically pregnant.
There you have it.
After all the hard work,
Right here on Derek and Jess and the
it's
Family Nest.
official.
It's official.
They are a
Desiree
waiting
Goheen,
family.
Yes.
Her and Scott.
psychologically pregnant.
That's what my agency calls it.
What does that mean?
Psychologically pregnant.
What does
Isn't
that
crazy?
mean?
So that means we are officially in the pool to adopt an infant
An infant.
domestically.
Infant is what age?
You can pick. We chose 0 to 1.
Oh, it's 12 months. 0 to 12 months.
Yeah.
What does a 0 look like?
No, that's fresh.
Bring home
One
from
day
the
old.
hospital.
Did you say fresh?
Yes, fresh baked.
Nice. Oh, Bing.
Right?
Yeah.
No, it's not actually. Right, it wasn't it.
Sounded like
Come on.
a one.
Oh,
Okay.
peg legs. That's weird. Okay. So, so 0 to 12 months.
Yep. 0 to 12. Okay. So
So do you want me to kind of tell you how we got this
I
far?
do.
Yes, we do.
I want to know how. Okay. This might be better for our listeners.
Okay.
Say somebody's interested in adoption.
Yes.
Take us through the process.
From the very beginning.
Yeah. Fresh.
Well, okay. So I just want to put a disclaimer in. I am by no means the expert in adoption. This is just
Your
Scott and
story.
I's story, a process that we've been through, but there is a myriad of ways to adopt kids.
So in other words, if you try Desiree's process and it doesn't work, you
Oh
can't
yeah,
sue her.
no.
Yeah.
Don't-
This is just her
Yeah,
story,
this is
and
just
she's
Scott
sharing it
and I's
with us.
choice
Gotcha.
and how we got to where we're at. So we struggled with years of infertility. We went to doctor after doctor. We tried lots of tests and hormone shots and medications, and we finally got to the point where we thought that we had gone our limit, and so we thought that we would look into foster care and adoption and see if that would be the way for us to make our family. So we got on the internet and typed in Adoption Colorado, and all of these company and agencies come up. And come to find out, the more you read, every state actually has rules, regulations that you have to follow. So every state is different. So if you're listening somewhere else, not in Colorado,
Right.
you need to find out your laws and regulations. But
Or in
first
another
thing we
country.
did, oh yeah,
Yeah,
international is a
international,
whole
yeah.
other thing. And so we found a company in Denver that we thought we would check out, and they had an infant night. So we drove to Denver and went to an infant information night, and they gave us a whole packet of info and kind of laid out what that process was going to look like. And we got home and went through a bunch of our paperwork, and we thought, okay, well, we'll do a little more research and see if there's any other companies that might accept us as clients. And the more we got into it, the more we actually liked the company that we had originally started with. So we put in an application. We had to have background checks. We had to have fingerprint cards, letters of recommendations. We had to have 3. And so we contacted some of our buddies. and said, please say
It
nice
was
things
very
about
difficult
us.
to say nice things about these two.
Had to pull out of
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
She was
Jeez.
over it. And turned that in, and then they contacted us and they said, here is a 40-page document that you're going to need to keep track of.
Ooh, so
And
that's
we had to
your...
read through
that's
a
your thing?
legal, we had to read through a whole packet of legal information, and then we filled out questionnaire after questionnaire after questionnaire after questionnaire, and sent it back in, and they went through it. We had to have a whole home study done, so we met with a caseworker who came to our home. We also went back to Denver about 4 times to meet with her, and we had to have separate interviews. We did an interview together about our life. You pretty much have to tell all of your stuff.
So you have to...
Yeah.
You're
You
like,
have to
this is-
let all
this is
those
what I
skeletons
did.
show.
From day one that you can remember all the way through that exact day of all the things that's happened to you, anything that was tragic or anything that you remember from your childhood that was exciting, so that they can kind of get an idea of what kind of parent that you're going to be. After you kind of go through that whole process, then we met with the big boss lady on Thursday, and we had all of our information done. She went over it. We went over our home study when it was complete, and then she said, here's your official page, and you're officially in the pool. So that's really exciting. In this company, we can't choose gender, but
Okay.
there are companies that you can, or agencies that you can. And they have boxes that you check for race. They have boxes that you check for age. They have boxes that you check for medical conditions. So any medical condition you think that you could parent or want to know more about. And we also have to take 12 hours of classes. Some of that is also medical concerns that you might have with an infant that you bring home. And then we have a follow-up class even after we're placed. So at this company, the birth mother actually gets to choose the family. And then,
Oh, really?
So we're not actively seeking, we don't go out and seek a birth mother. A birth mother contacts the agency and says, hey, we saw these 2 couples online, and we're interested to know more about them. And then they'll call us and they'll say, hey, we have a birth mother that's interested in you. And then we go hopefully meet that person. And if it works out that they like us and everything works out, then we would, wherever that birth mother is in the process, we may or may not get to follow her through. So it could be her first trimester and we get to go with her to doctor's appointments if she chooses, how open she wants to be. And then there may be a time where they just call us and they say, here's a baby in the hospital and are you interested? So it could be lots of different ways.
Do you ever get more than one? You'd be like, okay.
Yeah,
They call and they're like, I got a
you would be
2-year-old
fine
for
with
you.
twins.
We chose twins, but you can say sibling group as well.
Really?
Yep. And it really is, your weight really depends on
How open you are
how
to.
open you are to lots of different things, also how lucky you may be. We are at the bottom of the pool, so there are people that have waited several years in this agency because of either a choice that they have made, say they got contacted and the birth parent, it didn't work out. So they don't start over in the pool, they stay where they're at in the pool, which is a really nice thing. That would be really devastating to have something fall through and have to completely start all
Absolutely.
over. So you don't jump someone, everybody pays the same fees.
So it's
just strictly
Like
whoever
waiting for a
finds you.
transplant. I mean, you're on a list.
We're on a list.
That's basically, you're just waiting for a
Yeah,
call.
they call it the pool, which I wish they would.
I would call it a slot machine. Because you either get it or you don't. It's a lucky. It's Anyway.
A slot machine.
card
She
on
tried
it.
to. Yeah, she tried
What's
to put
that?
that one
It
in
was
there.
good, though.
What?
It was good. Was that one of your words, Steve?
I was trying to. You already didn't catch one, but
Okay, that's
no.
good.
But I want to say, as a friend, knowing Des' story from the beginning to now, it's also smart. See, I don't know much. I just know her story. She and Scott have been very dedicated to the process.
Yeah.
She educates herself. She reads. She puts all her attention and time into this, and I think that's like what you really need to do with this process, because she knows, like, I have known that she went into this process full on. She's read, she's dedicated her life to knowing everything about this process, and I think that's important because she knows what her outcome could be. She knows what could happen. She knows, and I think that's really smart for anybody that's thinking about doing something like Desiree and Scott are going through. Just read.
Yeah, you definitely have to be educated. One of the best things for us when we started the process was we actually asked people that have been through it that we knew, and they graciously shared a lot of their path with us, which it's not something that a lot of people talk about. I mean, you just don't sit around the kitchen table talking about adoption or foster care. It's just not, unless that comes into your lap sometime in your life, it's not something you discuss. And a lot of people, there's a stigma about adoption and foster care. And maybe it's starting to shift, I think, now. People are starting to discuss it a little bit better. But it used to be you didn't tell your kid until you were 18, 19 years old that they were adopted. Surprise, you're adopted. Now, it's from the very first day you start talking about, how they came into your life. They call it their adoption story, and that you want to make it as a happy experience. You want them to feel loved through the whole thing, because ultimately a birth parent giving their child to another family is a huge sacrifice in trust. And so it was important for Scott and I in making this decision to know that we had accepted our path. We want to pass down this experience to our child in the best possible light we can. We never want our child to think that they weren't wanted or, that they were a default in any way or a second. And so the only way that we could do that was by reading, asking questions. Now, there are lots of questions we still don't know. There's lots of things that we're going to have to come across, and it's going to be a bumpy road. And for me, the type of personality that I have, I like having everything in place. And so this wait time, that's what they call this time right now, is wait time, is going to be really difficult because I don't know. It could be 6 weeks, could be 6 months, could be 2 years. And so for Scott and I to be older parents already, I mean, we're in the mid-30s.
Is that old?
Well, to adopt a kid, for some agencies it is. There is actually, for some, they don't want them past 35, 38, because then you get into multiple families and things like that, or a second family, and that's really difficult to bring a child into.
When you're filling out this paperwork, do you have to like say, okay, this is our plan for the kid. This is what we're going to do.
Yes, we
have
to say how we're going to have a fire escapes and how many fire alarms we have.
These are the books that we're going to read.
These are our beliefs. These are our values. This is where a child's going to sleep. This is how many square footage that we have in our home for a child to play at. We had to prove vaccinations for our pets.
They need to do that for some people that can have biological
It's very scary. It's a really huge process. And for a long time, I was really upset about that. And I thought, wow, I am being scrutinized because I want a child. But I wouldn't want to give my child to someone I knew nothing about. And so the more that we got into the process, the more I understood 100% that you have to know who that child is going to. Because you want to wake up every morning knowing that the decision you made was the right decision for that child.
Because some people, I do know, my sister's nanny, she got pregnant at not a very young age, but younger, 19. She wanted to go to college, but she loved the baby a lot. She gave it up. She actually moved since then because I think the kid's 6 years old now, but she gets to visit him once a month, and he actually calls her belly mommy and calls his adopted mother mommy, but belly mommy because they've been so open, like she was talking about how it's changed now, and that little boy grew up knowing I have two mommies that love me and not.
But some birth mothers, they do have the choice that they don't want to be that open, so that is their choice. For Scott and I, we don't know that it's financially possible for us to drive back and forth every other week to Denver to see someone. But if that is the condition and that's something we both would agree on, then we know that we're going to follow through with that. Some just want pictures every month. Some want to be included in Thanksgiving. So it really is a very big give and take as far as how
would you
would be.
possibly, drive any of those summers?
You can't even say it with a straight face.
Dang it!
So that was going to be a fail. She couldn't even get that one out.
Fail!
That's funny.
Oh, sorry. Okay. I'm trying to think of Other questions?
No, you're not.
Oh, you know what?
Trying to
You know
figure
what?
out how to get
She
your
is
words
painting the
synced in.
room. I am. She is painting a room right now for the baby, and it's so cute. She's an artiste.
I love it. We thought, what better way to pass the time than to paint a giant mural in the bedroom? So we started a mural, and we decided on Disney because Scott and I are
Super
Disney files.
Well, and it could be for boy and girl. But she has to do neutral.
You should have gone with Tolkien. Wouldn't that be cool? The hobbits on there and everything. And...
Kind of creepy,
It
maybe.
might have scared them a little
Yeah.
bit. The older they
She's
got.
doing it also.
Well, you could have done
unisex.
C.S. Lewis.
Because there's Mary Poppins.
Like
There's Mary Poppins.
There's Mary Poppins, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and
He's
you know,
a
here's
Grouch.
the thing that we discovered, and I'm a little upset about it. So, we went to Barnes & Noble, and you know how many books there were on adoption?
0.
One.
Damn, I missed it.
Barnes and Noble. Get it together.
So, you know what section it was right next to?
It was
Peg
right
legs
next to romance.
Try again. Not Star Wars, not romance,
Star Trek.
not Star Trek.
Musical Rent.
How about divorce? Let's go with that. It was right
divorce.
next to divorce. And, you know, when they start the process, this was crazy. Scott and I had to have questions, like ask questions and talk about things together that we never thought we would. And one of them
Adoption,
is,
divorce.
if you have anything wrong with your marriage, now is the time that it comes out. And so they talk about how you should probably attend counseling, because there's a lot of, well, if you can't have your own biological child,
Right.
do you still want to be with me? Do you still want to be married to me?
Yeah.
And so it was right next to divorce, and it really hit us hard. It was like, wow, they weren't kidding. This is a pretty, you know,
How many books were there on divorce?
a lot,
Were there a
like
lot
two
of
shelves.
divorce?
And then I go to Walmart to get this done, right, that we made on, and we click on baby announcement, and it's boy, girl, no neutral, nothing. So I'm gonna kind of put down the hammer, and I'm gonna say Walmart and Barnes & Noble needs to get it together. for adoption.
Oh, I
Get
see
it
what you're
together.
talking about.
No, because
I was lost for a
neutral,
second.
a lot of people wait to even find out for biological child.
Okay, you were talking about clothes. I thought you
No,
were talking
like
about the
baby
gender.
classy.
Baby announcement. You can click on boy or girl. There is nothing else.
I thought
So-
you were actually
No,
talking
what's up?
about the baby, and I was
I
like,
just
I'm
want
not
to
quite sure what
say
it
I
is.
have 3 and you guys haven't caught it.
I don't know what.
I've said 3.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Okay, that's good.
Well, you know, good for
That-
them. We're all happy.
Thanks.
I thought you were talking for a second. I thought you were talking about the actual baby. And,
Oh, sorry.
And I
Well,
didn't
no,
know
this
what
announcement.
I didn't know what a
No.
neutral
Right, you
baby
do.
was.
Oh.
No,
It
No,
threw
you
me off
can't
for a
find.
second.
You have a really hard time finding things specifically for foster care or adoption. So I don't know what that's all about, but it shouldn't be that hard to find those things
Well,
because
especially-
people make families in lots of different ways.
but there's a lot of people adopting and or have been adopted in this world.
Sure.
A lot more
Absolutely.
for having one book at Barnes and Noble.
Yeah.
Superman was adopted.
Come on, Barnes and Noble.
honest.
Kind of disappointed.
Superman was adopted? Yeah. Wait a second.
Olivia Newton-John was
That's
adopted.
right.
So many people when you go through it.
I don't know
That's true.
actually if Olivia
Some of the
Newton-John was
presidents-
adopted, but
some of the presidents
she might have.
were
So, not saying she was, she might have been.
Who?
Olivia Newton. I don't think she was.
Really?
So I'm wondering if that's one of her words.
It is
I
one
wondered
of
when
her
she
words.
said John Travolta.
Dang it, I should have left it alone!
That's why. So,
Dang it!
Scott excited?
Scott is very excited. I think it hit us the other day when we were looking for the perfect way to tell our friends and family. Mm-hmm. And we're wandering around, and we walked up to this rack of like sports Under Armour onesies. By the
There
way,
you
they're
go.
adorable.
We were looking at those a while back.
And
Not for
here's
any
this
reason.
this one right here. This this
that
onesie
cute?
that's an official, and he was like, "Oh, it's official." And I could see in his face that it was like the moment that he
So he
realized, like,
picked it out?
it made it
He
true.
was the one that picked it?
He did. He was so sweet. It was definitely one of those, like, yeah, I married the right guy moments for
Yeah.
me. Because I think up into the last couple weeks, we've both been kind of in this, you hurry up to wait mode.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they finally tell you, like, it's going to happen, it may not happen tomorrow, but it's going to happen, it's kind of like this weight lifted off. And it was,
That's awesome.
We could go back to being a couple, knowing we've done everything that we
And I'm
could
sure it's
possibly
really
do.
stressful.
Yeah.
How could it not be
So
stressful?
lots of tears, lots
So
of stress.
Scott's more the athletic
super.
Like that.
yeah,
Okay.
he's like-
I didn't know if
His
it was like
metabolism,
movies into like
Yeah, it's like,
Spartan
he'll
or
eat whatever he wants.
playing the
all the
bass
time.
guitar or anything. Nothing
he
like
looks
that.
like
no
that.
bass guitars.
No bass. Really? That was. Yeah. I tried to work it in as best I could.
Oh,
But you missed the Spartan. The Spartan
okay.
was in the bass guitars. I tried to work that one in.
Clever.
Yeah, I worked that one in. That was a good catch.
So I think for him, he was unsure about the process. He's very like how much, like financially, how much is this going to impact us? Which is huge.
I was just getting ready to ask, and not to pry or anything, but
I want to
it's
be very open.
expensive, isn't it?
It's very expensive.
It's expensive, yeah.
You know, for Scott and I, we could have tried IVF when we were going through infertility, but I knew it wasn't. If it was unsuccessful, I knew I could not pay on that loan every month, knowing that I didn't have the outcome that I hoped for. And so with this for us,
like
it
a
was
college loan.
investment. It is, yeah, very
It's
much.
not one of my word
No.
sneaks. It's really much like
It is. It is.
paying
Except
every month.
Which
or
I
something.
completely understand what she's saying, though. I don't think I could pay on a loan like
Yeah,
that.
that was.
You know,
Honest to you.
Well, you know, not, and it's kind of like in a way we're investing in our future, you know, and
Right.
so
Wait till
Because
you
you
get
can
the
have
kid.
it as
then
long as somebody finds you, right? You're spending this money towards the process of, even if it takes 2 years, whatever, you're still, the outcome is going to be better than.
it's going to be over 30 grand when we're finished.
Really.
Yeah, and so for two
That's
teachers,
not even close to what it's going to
scary.
cost once you get the kid.
But think about that impact, and then
Exactly.
and then the impact
know
of
it.
the
Of
things you
raising the
need.
child.
It's a
Right,
huge,
and then-
it's a huge.
It was definitely a big conversation that we had to have because it is going to impact us financially, and so you go, well, there is no right time. We're not going to win the lotto tomorrow and then decide that so it was kind of like
Gotta believe in
there's
something.
going to be a time that it comes, and we're going to pay on it until that happens. So
I have a question for you. This has no word sneak in it at all. I wish I could throw one in there, but it doesn't. Was there any time in the midst of this process that you and Scott said, "That's it. I can't go anymore. I can't."
No.
Or ever thought about, "We're done."
no, but infertility, yes. We came home after one of the failed IUIs, and I said, I can't do this anymore. I can't do the shots. I can't do the emotions. I can't do the hormone treatments. I can't do it. And he said he understood, and it was okay. And but with this process, it was definitely like it's like when you're looking for a car, all you see is new cars, right? When you're single, all you see is couples. When you're a couple, all you see is married people. So Scott and I are definitely in that, like, all of our friends have kiddos, and we knew that was going to be important for us, and we were not going to give up on that dream at all.
Baby Goheen, future baby Goheen, you are loved. Look at all the work that she and your daddy are going
Well, and
through.
can you imagine,
Absolutely.
like, we really get to tell our child, you were not an accident, you were made for us, and you were
Exactly.
planned, and there's a big...
Don't make me cry. Stop it.
There's a lot
Stop
of
it.
tears. I've cried a lot. A lot.
We put.
Hey, real quick though, I've been wanting to ask you, is that on your floor, wall, stucco? What is
It's on
that?
our floor.
Okay.
Yeah. We kind of went cheap.
Nobody called me on that until you saw my eyes. I got
Oh,
that.
nice. I missed that.
No, but I had to say that. But
We
isn't that cute?
had to make it ourselves because we thought,
Yes.
there is a lot of adopt baby announcements. Everybody does something different, and so we thought,
No, that's original
this is
Goheen. I've never
different.
seen that.
Did we announce our kid was born?
Well, back in the day, I wasn't announced. I don't think my parents announced any of us.
We didn't send anything.
We didn't say anything out.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, as you look at that, and you were talking. You were talking about how you have to sit there and say, okay, this is how we're going to rate it, or at least this is the direction we're taking. This is what we're going to do. It's either in sports or whatever. And I'm thinking, we didn't do that when Jacob and Stephanie came out. We weren't like, all right, these are our plans for their future. We're going to raise them up. And with Jacob, I can't imagine us sitting down and saying, okay, he's going to grow up and he's going to love exercise and he's going to do, this, what's it called, P90X and all this stuff and the plyometrics. And I just can't imagine that would happen for just regular people. Not that
But
you're
they
not
should.
a regular
Okay,
person.
this is why
But you should
sometimes
talk
I
about
think people that adopt are better than some people that can have No, they are
I don't know
absolutely
if they're
better.
better, but we have conversations.
No, she and
maybe
Scott are
others
better than
don't.
some people that have
Crazy
kids out
horse. I
there.
can't believe that. That's
I don't know about
crazy
that.
horse.
No, I really do think some people out there should be screened like they are.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's some people that I'm like, why do they have kids and Des and Scott have had such a tough time?
Here, I know you know that too. Being a teacher, here's what. Have you checked
but
yet?
think of all the babies that we get to have because people sometimes make bad choices.
That's true.
That's absolutely right. It is.
And I don't ever. I mean, that's
No, I'm
really
talking about the
hard.
people that
That's
don't give
really
them up.
hard
I'm
because you
talking
don't.
about the people that don't give them up.
I'm talking about the.
Yeah, but keep
and
them.
I'll say it. I'll put it right out there. It's the ones that need to be taken away that aren't.
Yes.
That's the ones that I get. I said it right here on Derek and Jess and the Family.
Family, yes. We're all about family here.
We're all about family and love, and we want those crappy parents to taking their kids away.
I think this is a Bermuda Triangle.
It is a Bermuda
conversation.
Triangle.
I don't know if this is a good
Oh,
idea.
come on. That had to be a word sneak.
Oh, dang it!
That had to be a word. Here's a question I have for you. Have you checked at work if you get maternity leave?
I do.
Good for you.
Yay. I do. Yes, we are treated.
Can I ask an even more
That is
personal
awesome.
question?
Well, I don't know how much more personal isn't yet. I'm talking about
Okay.
having a baby over here.
All right. Are you coming back?
Are we coming back to the show?
No.
That's debatable.
You got it. You got a new baby. Say you got you take your 6 weeks, and then you decide.
Oh,
you know what?
she
I'm
is.
going back to work.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was kind of a personal question.
No,
and I'm glad I got
that.
I could have answered that for you.
I'm not a stay-at-home typey mommy.
What's that,
It's
Jimbo?
very, very hard.
Oh, that's right. She can. Auntie can watch him. That's right. That's
Actually,
exactly
my
right.
mother-in-law said she would retire.
Oh, I bet. I
And I
bet.
was like, what? And if anybody knows my mother-in-law, like, working is her deal. And so it was like,
Would that be the first
we're
grandchild?
making good choices. No.
No, it wouldn't be.
On either side, no.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But it'll be our first child.
Yeah.
So that's exciting enough.
Exactly.
Yeah. But we don't have names picked out because that might actually be a choice that we make with the mother.
That's
So
true.
that's really
because
an
I remember her
interesting
telling
concept.
me something that.
Yeah. We have some ideas of things we'd like, but maybe
what
not.
if you get a 1-year-old that already has a name?
Then you can keep the name, or you can choose to
Really?
change
Wait,
the name.
isn't there
it
some
has to be
people-
legally ours first, and there's a waiting period that they're not legally ours. So we have to finalize it through the court system before we can change anything.
Because I asked her once, I was like, okay, so what if you get a 10-month-old?
Word sneak.
No,
Okay.
no.
Not now.
I go, what if you get like a 10-month-old that's
Right.
names like Juan Pablo Spittoon, Nevada, Gallo.
There's no word sneak in there.
No.
Maybe honor maybe one of the names,
Okay.
and say
See,
that
that's
might be a
nice.
middle name.
That's nice.
You know, but I'm pretty sure I'd have to be careful if it was like
Right, you've
something
got
a
to.
little crazy.
you
But
serious?
here's the
There was
other
no
thing:
word
we had to have
sneak in there?
conversation.
What was it? You have to call me out on the word.
There had to have been. I get
Right,
throw one in
Christine,
there just
that's
like,
how it
okay, you can name
works.
him Crunk. Okay, that's one of my word sneaks right there.
Isn't that so nice of her that they would,
is.
in honor, they would pick, like leave maybe one?
Well, it's not just our child. I mean, this child has another family.
You know what? You got a
Another
big
story.
heart.
Doesn't she though?
Just a huge.
Angel.
I don't think I could do that. I don't
No,
think
I
I
know.
could be like, okay.
I think you could if you were put in my position.
Probably.
It really is a.
Probably.
For many years
Humbling.
to get to this.
It
I
is.
mean,
It's very humbling, and there's a lot of things you can't control
such
about
a
it.
good one.
And
Such a good
but we want a family, and you're gonna do what you can do to get a family.
And honestly, a name
Yeah.
in the whole scheme of things,
Sure.
really.
Well, no, I'm just talking about the way that you've been talking about.
No, I know.
The
process.
biological.
The birth parents.
The birth
well,
parents.
it's not just I say birth mother, but it's also the birth father. If the birth father wants to be involved, you know, they have that choice as well. Unfortunately, not a lot of birth fathers are, and so that just there's a lot of situations where they may not know anything about the birth father at all. And so there may be a whole half of genetics that we know nothing about for this child, and that's also kind of scary. Because we don't have, I can't tell someone not to smoke. I can't tell someone not to drink. I can't tell someone to not stay up late and eat right. I mean, it's their own thing, and I just have to be willing to accept that.
You have
And
to
that's
have a lot of
little
patience
scary.
and
Yeah.
We're going to go to the Jess's mom tip here, and Jimbo, let's go ahead and I think we'd be safe. We'll be safe if we can push that 5 minutes, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so-
By the way, I just want to say I got 5.
Okay.
What
well,
did you get?
We're not finished yet. We're not finished yet.
don't know.
Well, I'm finished because the other ones you called me out on. So
Oh, okay. So you pushed them in there. I was waiting for time to get. I still have a few left. So we are going to get to the Jess's mom tip. But say there's people out here listening and watching on Derek and Jess and the Family Nest, and they're interested in adoption.
For which
Give me-
part? Adopting? Or
Adopting.
Adopting. Okay.
Give me 3 things that you would say, this is what you need to have before you adopt, about them, about a couple.
Stable marriage,
Okay? Stable marriage,
communication.
communication.
Ooh, this one's tough. I would say your future outlook, because if you can't hold on to that, then you get lost in the process a lot. That's maybe when you quit, because you don't have, 5-year,
look in the
10-year,
future.
15. What is it going to look like when you're 60 and your kiddo and your grandkid comes to visit? You have to have a future outlook on where you're
Okay,
going.
now give me the top 3 things, because you're a teacher and you're around kids all the time.
Teacher hat.
Put on your teacher hat. And if you were able to stand in front of a young couple and say to them, these are the 3 things you need to think about before having a biological child, what would it be?
Wow, this is hard.
I guess what I'm leading into is, how would it be different than the 3 things that you
I think you have to have love. That's a huge one.
I think
you
they're
have
all
to
the
have
same.
the
Commitment.
support/resource. Because if you're falling apart or you need help, you've got to reach out to someone. That's a big.
Communication's big too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
What
think
you
so.
said.
I think that you
Yeah.
have to be willing to talk about the hard things, because hard things happen every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To every
and if you
type of
if
couple.
you can't talk to your significant other, whoever that is, if you can't talk about things to them, then when you do go through those hard times, it's not going to work out, and it's just going to cause problems for a teeny tiny.
And sadly, you see that all the time. You see
do.
at school.
But I really do believe that parents do have the best intentions. Sometimes they just don't know how to handle situations.
Right.
I don't think anybody sets out to have the worst,
Right.
possible thing for their child. Like, nobody goes into
Like,
being
what can I do
pregnant
to make
thinking
it
they're going to make
bad?
their
Right.
child's life horrible. But
Right.
I think that sometimes their intentions may be, maybe they're self-centered intentions and don't realize
Just
how
a
they
little
might
more
impact the
selfish,
kiddo, or they don't have a future of what that child is going to
Yeah.
grow up to be like. I mean, we even had to write down, we want our child to be a great member of society, a productive member of society, because really that's ultimately what our kids are going to be.
Please teach your
When
child
they're
about
18,
That's
history.
what I do.
They leave the nest, right?
That's what I
They fly
want,
away.
is them to be a
Right.
productive.
Sure. They have to
But
learn
how do
this-
you get there? If you don't know
Right.
how to get there,
Right.
and or who to ask how to get there, or support each other in how to get there. If I grew up differently in a household, that Scott grew up differently in a household, we have to work together on what we think is right. We had to even have questions about how we were going to discipline our child.
Yeah.
Those things need to
Jonah
come
had
out in
very
a
different,
regular marriage.
upbringings.
Yeah.
So you have to, Very true. Very true.
And what consequences you're going to
Doesn't she
set.
speak so well?
Yes.
We're
We
gonna
do
have her
that
back.
because
We will have her
actually,
back.
We had Desiree on Derek and George Live.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
get
she came in and
sucked up
talked
the
about
teacher
the
hat.
teacher unions.
Yeah. That went well.
That went well. It did go well.
Dad, oh no.
Well, considering George was sitting in the room, it was
That's
good.
hilarious.
Last thing before we go to the Derek and or to the Jess's mom's tip. When you think about all of this, and you've got somebody who now comes to you and says,
Oh, yeah.
"How do
I hope so.
Where
Come to me.
Where should someone start? Where do you start the process? Is it like you were talking about? Okay.
I think, I think talking to someone and getting on and researching it. But you have to research in small parts. Please don't research in I'm going to research this in a week and everything I'm going to read about it, because it's very scary and daunting.
Do you
So
just
it's
Google
small
it?
parts. Yeah, don't Google it.
Don't Google.
Don't Google it.
Okay.
No. I would Google specifics, like how to start adopting. That's what I wouldn't just put adoption and just try to read all the articles.
Too much.
And the best thing that our adoption agency has done in this process is they actually gave us birth parent letters of other people. They showed us profiles.
awesome.
They
Okay,
even
what I see
gave
there.
they gave us pre-screened information about adoption. And one of the best things they gave us was a journey It was called A Journey, and it was about someone that was going to take a trip to Australia, and someone was going to fly, and someone was going to go by boat, and how everybody has a different way to get to their destination. And I just cried. But that was the best thing, is whatever agency you go through. In Colorado, you can't do lawyers, but in other states you can. They will guide you. And if they're not guiding you, get out, because they're not helpful.
So there was an actual place that you started. And
Yeah, it's an agency in Denver, right?
Agency.
is there any way that we can get that website and then put it on Derek
Sure.
and Jess and
Can
the
I
Family
shamelessly
Net?
plug it?
Shamelessly
Okay, it's
plug
called
it.
Adoption
Absolutely.
Options. Now, there's
Good
lots
name.
of different
Dot.
ones, but ours are Adoption Options. I'm not sure the dot. I have a card.
Either
I'll look it up.
.com or .org. Or,
Yeah. But
Something.
there's lots of different ones, and you know, if you're a Christian, if you're Catholic, there's ways that you can go through different agencies for that. If you're a lesbian, gay couple, there's ways. You know, our company does lesbian, gays, partnerships. It doesn't matter age, race, they take all of them. And that was one of the things that was really important to Scott and I's, because we didn't want to discriminate. And we went through a company that doesn't, and we felt really positive about that, because our child will be different, and it's going to need lots of support. So we didn't think starting out in something that was isolating was the best way for us to go. So we chose that.
Outstanding. We've got to get to the Jess's mom tips real quick. You only got a few minutes, but Jimbo, go ahead and spin that up. We will listen to Jess's mom's tip. I like the music. Can you hear it?
Oh,
Okay,
hello, dears. If you're having problems with those little nose minors, if those little rascals are making you pull your hair out, dear, we've got the place for you to come. Oh, and that's to Jess's mom's.
Wait a second, because I could hear everything that you said. Go ahead and turn down the mics. So, what did you say about me?
I think you have 6.
Ooh.
Jess has 3. I thought. And Jess has 4.
Yeah,
But
anyway.
mine is so good.
Jess's mom's tip. You're not jazzed about this one.
No, I'm jazzed. I'm jazzed about everything that I share with everybody. It's just this one's not fun. Like, some of mine are fun.
Everything for everybody.
This is more just factual. Like,
Thank
do
goodness
it.
we only gave you a few minutes to do it.
it,
Right
yes.
there. Hit it. Jess's
Okay.
mom's tip right here. From
So my
from
mom's
nothing.
tip today is basically a fact that you need to do. Keep up on your checkups for your kids. Ears,
that's a
eyes.
huge one.
And you know what? I'm a mom of 3 little kids. It is very, very, very easily overlooked if you have healthy kids. I have kids that never complain about eye problems. I have kids that never complain about their teeth problems because I don't give them sugars and pops and stuff like that. But
Here we go.
it still is very important.
It's great. That's a great one. Yeah.
He still thinks it's bad that I don't give my 5-year-old.
I don't. I'm not
pop.
saying.
Have you
I'm-
seen teeth?
I'm not saying that it is. I'm just.
Pop is the number one
Come to school and
turn.
see teeth.
My daughter Kate, 5-year-old preschooler, comes home and says, "Why am I the only one with white teeth? Why do all my friends have silver teeth?" And I'm like,
Cats
Okay.
everywhere. It's
anyway,
all
I'm
rough.
saying for this mom's tip is checkups, ears, eyes, teeth. Even if you think your kids are 100%
one.
healthy, you should still check and make sure that their eyes are 20/20, because school could be really hard for them if they can't see or hear or.
That's a huge one. I have children that really have a hard time reading because they don't know what they're looking at.
Yep.
And it's like, are you having a hard time because you don't understand that, or is it because you can't see?
it.
And it's hard to know if they don't get checkups, because it's not something that, you know, we screen
Right.
for.
And I know
all the
it's
time.
hard to really put in, but prioritize it. Just make yourself a note in your phone, on a calendar. Call for an eye doctor's appointment for Lily.
Here's another great
that's a good
tip that I want to add in that you did. And you've talked about this before of being inclusive with your kids, and I'm not trying to sneak in a
No,
word
take
here.
one out. Yeah, you clearly are.
I am not.
Okay.
I'm really not. I want you to tell everybody about your eyeballs today.
Oh,
God, I wish eyeballs was a word sneak, but it's not.
so I'm normally a green-eyed blonde, and today I have brown contacts in.
But why?
Why? Why is that? Well,
Yeah.
before I was even married, I was an optician, and I was kind of having fun. I have 20/20 vision, so I was just getting plain old contacts to see. I do not make a cute blue-eyed chick. I do not look good with blue eyes.
Really?
It's either green eyes or brown, probably because my mom has brown eyes. But I do have 2 daughters that have blue eyes, so light eyes like myself, and one daughter that has big, beautiful brown eyes. And even though I had these contacts before, and I rarely wear them, I wore them today, this morning, and my brown-eyed daughter gave me a big hug, and she says, "Now you match me, Mommy."
That's right. See?
And so occasionally,
for your kiddos.
yeah, and just seeing her smile, I'm going through with it right now because I want to rip them from my eyes because I'm not used to them.
Oh, your eyes. I thought you meant your kids.
I know.
Where we're going with this is scary.
No, but I love her so much, and it made her happy, see?
That's sweet.
And I do tell her when I'm not brown-eyed. We match all the time because we have the same hearts.
Oh, well, see, my child may not match me at all, but it'll match me in my heart.
See? Exactly. Hearts. Hearts.
Yeah. That's okay.
Well, look at
That's
Kira.
great.
No, Kira, my brown-eyed kid, nobody would ever know she was mine.
That's awesome.
She does not look like mine. Oh, really?
This is how much I love my
absolutely.
kids. I don't even know what color eyes they have.
Oh, the doesn't know.
I'm telling you, I know for sure they have eyes.
No,
But other than that,
what color of eyes does your wife have, Derek?
she has like greeny eyes.
Okay, that greeny, not just green. Your kid's eyes match your wife's eyes.
I look into my wife's eyes a lot more than I look into my kids' eyes.
That's true.
I try
that
to
was
avert
really
myself from
sweet.
looking
That
into
is
my
cute.
Hey, you know what? We got to
We
go.
got a
We're running
husband
out of
point.
time.
Oh, are we?
Sweet.
Yeah, I wish I had a word sneak for that one. But before we do, we just got a few minutes to go. I'm going to tell you which ones that I got in. I got in plyometrics.
Not too
I
bad.
got in Spartan. I got in
I almost called
bass
you on it.
guitar.
Yes,
I missed salt. I missed saltwater. I did not get crunk. I got crazy horse in. I did not get into Cold War. I did get in the Chronicles of Narnia.
I did not hear that. I was
wanted
not
to put it
paying
on your
attention
wall,
to you.
remember?
I
They
know.
told you we should have put it on and I got in
scared to say.
Fragile.
Yes, nice.
Oh my gosh.
I missed 6, so I got 6. I got 6.
I missed Olivia Newton-John, but whatever. If I would have stopped going with that, I would have gone it.
Maybe.
I missed submarine, slot machine, pancake batter. But I did get stucco.
You did get stucco. That was a good one.
I did get flaxseed. Just rewind the tape.
That's a good one. I didn't even hear you say that.
I did get rent.
Uh-huh.
I did get peg leg. She got that one.
Okay.
And I did get spittoon.
Okay, I saw you. I heard this platoon.
Good, yeah.
Although I think I called you on that, but that was.
I'm pretty sure you probably called me on a couple of these
Okay.
5, but it was not right away, so
You're right.
I failed.
You're right. What'd you get, Des?
What'd you get?
Dungeon Master.
What?
Mousetrap, Portuguese. That was early. That
Yeah.
might not count. That was before we started. Star
That's
Wars,
okay.
Jimi Hendrix, Bermuda Triangle.
What did you say, Jimi Hendrix?
Woo, very.
Wait, did we call her on the Bermuda?
Yeah,
Oh.
we did. And so, I don't know. I didn't do very good because this was like a serious thing.
I know.
No, it was. We could have done better if it was more of a...
We didn't expect you to hit it. We just wanted
Oh,
you
you
to play
didn't
along.
expect me to do well.
No, I expected you to do well.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Absolutely. We've got to go. We want to remind you, if you want to find us, you can go to our Twitter handle at D&J Nest. You can find us at Facebook at Derek and Jess and the Family Nest. You can go to derekandjess.net, mobile, whatever. We want to thank Desiree for being here. Join us next Tuesday. You'll be watching on YouTube, but you can join us next Sunday on Blog Talk Radio. We want you to come back and join us 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time right here on Derek and Jess.
And the Family Nest.
God bless.